What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to LTQ Wrestling Podcast. I'm BJ. Going to be giving my AEW Forbidden Door 2025 predictions. Should be a heck of a show. Say what you want about AEW, whether you like their stories or not, or the wrestling, or the no-selling, or Tony Khan's booking, or whatever you don't like. You got to give them credit for their pay-per-view quality. Their pay-per-view matches are usually stellar, and they usually live up. Sometimes I get annoyed with some, of the no-selling and getting up from everything, and I'm sure there's going to be a few matches that are like that on this show, especially with the multi-man lights-out steel cage I'll give my prediction for. But I still think this is going to deliver. So let's get right into it. We have Zack Sabre Jr. against Nigel McGuinness for the New Japan Pro Wrestling World title. Now, this should be a fantastic technical style of wrestling match. It's still great to see Nigel McGuinness back in the ring, and I think this is going to be one of the best matches of the night. I do think Zack Sabre Jr. is going to retain. I don't really see why Nigel would win this right now, especially with him being so part-time. Who knows how many matches Nigel McGuinness is even going to wrestle after this, but it's just great to see him after all these years of being retired back in the ring. He's a heck of a commentator, and Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the best wrestlers in the world, so I'm sure this match is going to be stellar, and I see Zack Sabre Jr. retaining in probably a 15-minute match. I don't really see this going 20 to 25 minutes. I do think this match will be something the fans really enjoy. I feel like it'll probably be the middle of the show type of match, and I don't really have any complaints with that. So Zack Sabre Jr. for me. So this next match, listen, this is going to be just one of the AEW matches you get almost every pay-per-view where it's just a bunch of guys in the match doing a bunch of moves to each other, getting up from everything, doing unbelievable stuff. We had the Death Riders, Gabe Kidd and the Young Bucks against Darby Allin, Tanahashi, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Kota Ibushi. Now, a lot of big names in this match, and I'm sure there's fans out there who really enjoy all these wrestlers, and I like most of them as well. But there is going to be part of me that is going to roll my eyes when I watch this match. I'm going to be like, yeah, they're all going to get up from everything. They're going to hit each other with Canadian destroyers off of ladders, and they're going to do a Canadian destroyer off the steel cage and through a table, and they're going to get up from it. They're going to kick out about 30 finishers each. Because any match with the Young Bucks and Will Ospreay is going to have constant getting up and constant kickouts. I'm not hating on Will Ospreay. I have a little bit of a vendetta against the Bucks. I don't really enjoy a lot of their work. I used to, and so I started realizing they just no-sell everything. But match with these three in it, I already know it's going to be constant just move after move after move after move after move. And I enjoy that to a degree, but sometimes it just gets ridiculous where it's just like, okay, come on, what are we doing here? Like the last match they had where it was Will Ospreay and Swerve against the Young Bucks, I was just like, I was sitting there watching with QJ and we were like, man, these guys are getting up from everything. Because they did like a sequence I'm sure you guys saw where they did like 2 Canadian destroyers the Bucks did, then Ospreay and Swerve hit their 2 moves and they were all down. Like, you should not be just like no-selling a Canadian destroyer. But anyways, for this match, I'll be honest, this match doesn't mean anything. It's just kind of on the card to get big names on the card. I'm going to go the face team wins. Darby Allin just returned, so I'm going to go Darby, Tanahashi, Omega, Ospreay, and Ibushi get the win here. And, I mean, there ain't really much to say. It's just going to be your typical AEW crazy match. Takahashi against Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title. Not Tanahashi, Takahashi. So Kyle Fletcher, he's had an up and down year when it comes to like, backstage heat. I don't know if there's any real heat on him for the Adam Cole injury, but that changed a lot of fans' perception of him, calling him dangerous, and he potentially had ended Adam Cole's career and all that. But he's still the future of this company. He's only, I think, 26, 27. He's really transformed his body. The dude's just a specimen. And he's, beat Dustin Rhodes for the title. I'm going to go Kyle Fletcher retains. He just won the title. I don't really see them taking it off from right now. I do think this is going to be another match that's fantastic. And, I'm a big Kyle Fletcher fan. I know the Adam Cole stuff's really got him a bad rep, but he's a heck of an athlete, heck of a wrestler, and really one of the guys I hope AEW continues to build, because AEW has had a tendency of sometimes building wrestlers up and they disappear, or they just lose a title and they just really lose a lot of momentum. Hopefully Kyle Fletcher isn't that, type of booked wrestler in this company, but I do think he has a bright future, and hopefully they continue to build him up where he's maybe AEW World Champion one day. So we have a fatal 4-way. One is to be determined tonight on Dynamite. I'm recording this before AEW Dynamite. Mercedes Moné, Persephone, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Alex Windsor, who is, Will Ospreay's fiance, and then TBD, the TBS title. I mean, why would any of these women beat Mercedes Moné right now? I mean, let's be serious. Mercedes is going to win. She just really that's what's bad about the AEW Women's Division. She already faced Toni Storm. She's kind of in an alliance with Athena, kind of not. Outside of those two, there's not really a lot of women right now that you go, yeah, that they could beat Mercedes Moné and be a realistic, case to beat them. And that's not a good thing. Yes, they're trying to build up Megan Bayne and some of the other women in that company. You got Chris Statlander. But, I'm all for getting different women opportunities. But, at the same time, you're giving a lot of these women who just got there or haven't really been known by the fans or whatever the case, a title shot. And it's just AEW's got to do better at building up talent to get fans to invest in them, because if I'm a casual fan tuning into this pay-per-view, I don't know probably 3 out of the 4 women in this match. They don't do video packages. They don't do introductions to who these people are. They just show up on a Dynamite or Collision and go, oh my God, it's Alex Windsor. Bro, ain't nobody know who that is. Introduce wrestlers, because I feel like Tony Khan in his mind thinks people who watch his show, and there are some who watch his show who watch all different types of wrestling. I watch a lot of wrestling myself. I watch TNA, I watch MLW, I watch AEW, I watch WWE, but I don't watch every single company in the world like Tony Khan thinks a lot of fans do, and he just needs to get better at introducing wrestlers. A simple video package could go a long way. Is WWE perfect right now? No, but when they introduce new wrestlers, they usually, build them up for a few weeks, or they give video packages, or they show some of their work at NXT, or they talk about them on, different companies and what they bring to the table. Tony Khan's booking is basically just have the announcers yell their name, and that's it. Anyways, I went on a little rant there about something that's really been bothering me about AEW. But Mercedes Moné is going to retain this match. It just is what it is. So her Syndicate against FTR or Brodito, another match that's happening tonight on Dynamite. And it doesn't matter what team probably wins. Is there a possibility that FTR beat the Her Syndicate? Yes, but it's been reported that the Her Syndicate didn't want to do that. So I doubt they changed their minds. The Her Syndicate's just a team right now that's dominated the whole division. And there's really not a lot of options out there to realistically dethrone them. And that's a problem when you build somebody up or build a team up or a faction up and nobody stands a chance. You kind of back yourself in a corner and be like, okay, what the hell do we do? We don't have any teams that, we go, yeah, we can have them beat the Her Syndicate. Now, it's also been reported that MVP wants to put over some younger talent. There are some younger teams in AEW. You could go, yeah, maybe. But it would still be kind of dumb to have a team that hasn't really had a lot of success beat them. Yes, you could say, oh, well, they beat them to the champions, but AEW hasn't really been good at booking tag teams or, tag champions in recent months. So they really got to be careful with how the Her Syndicate loses here, because that team needs to have a ton of momentum either going in or after dethroning them. But yeah, it don't matter if it's Brodito or FTR. Her Syndicate I see winning. That's my prediction for this match. So this next match should be very, very good. Toni Storm, timeless Toni Storm against Athena. Now, I think this could be match of the night. I do think both these women are two, besides Mercedes Moné, two of the top women in this whole company. I do think WWE fumbled both these women. Now, Ember Moon had some, success there. Toni Storm and NXT did. But both these women have been given an opportunity here in AEW, and they've ran with it and made themselves stars. And sometimes it takes the right booker, the right company, or just the right opportunity, and you run with it. And both these women deserve a lot of credit for really turning their careers around in AEW, especially Toni Storm, to where they're main event caliber performers now. And we'll have to see how this match goes. I do think Toni Storm's going to retain. Athena is the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, I believe, still. She's been champ for a minute. But I think this is going to be an unbelievable women's match. Toni Storm's been nothing but great. I'm going to go she retains in this match. Matches left. We got Okada against Swerve for the AEW Unified title, which Okada beat Omega for. Now, there's been a lot of criticism of Okada. He's lazy. He doesn't want to do a lot. He's just taking the easy route. He came to AEW for the money. He's not really doing a whole lot in his matches. And a lot of that is very justifiable. I mean, he has not done a lot. There's been matches like against Will Ospreay that he really did a little bit more. In Omega, he did a little bit more. But most of his matches has just been duds, like not really anything exciting. Him and Swerve has potential to be very, very good. Now, again, this is a champion who hasn't really held the title very long. Swerve's ever since losing the AEW World title, to me, has not really done a whole lot of relevance besides the Hangman feud. So, could put the title on Swerve and get him back to having some momentum? I could see that, but I also see Okada retaining because he just won the title, and I don't know. This is a tough one. I mean, I could see a case to be made for Swerve winning just because he needs something. But Okada also is one of the highest paid wrestlers in the company, and I don't really see him losing yet. But I'm going to go Okada retains in this match. I do think this will be one of Okada's better matches, and we'll have to see how it goes. So, as Tears likes to say, it's time for the main evento. Hangman Adam Page against MJF. I have been loving this feud. The segments have been good. The match is going to be kick-ass. Everything about it. And listen, MJF needs something, but I don't see him winning this match. MJF's cooled off a lot over the last year. AEW is kind of not really knowing what to do with him for the last few months. Really, the Hurt Syndicate thing was interesting, but they just squashed that and just said, we're going to rush the end of this. Bobby doesn't like you. If you win the title, he's coming after you, and then that's the end of it. Like, I don't know what was going on with that. But Hangman Adam Page has been a great babyface champion. He has been fantastic the last year, 2 years. He was another guy who was kind of in no man's land for a little bit, took some time off, came back, didn't really do a whole lot, and now he's back, and he's been pretty much their Cody Rhodes, their babyface, the story, the matches, everything has been great. The Swerve feud really boosted him a lot, and now he's the AEW World Champion. He's facing arguably the second top guy in the company in MJF. This match is going to be a main event classic, in my opinion. Say what you want about MJF. I've heard some fans say, MJF can't wrestle. He's not that good in the ring. BS. He's one of the best wrestlers there is in the ring. He's had tons of classic matches. Him and Punk, him and Bryan Danielson, him and Ospreay. You could go through his AEW list and see how good his matches have been. But yeah, I see Hangman Adam Page retaining. I don't see him losing. There could potentially be a lot of title retains on this show. Now, there might be one or two that change. Maybe there's a swerve or one of them change, but it just seems like a very safe show, but it's going to be a very good show when it comes to match quality. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my prediction for AEW Forbidden Door 2025. Hopefully it's a good show. You guys enjoy it. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Comment any thoughts you have on the show. What match are you looking forward to the most? What's your predictions? Let me know down below. As always, appreciate the support. Peace.